Hey ladies, it's Dominga. Today's topic is about not apologizing for having big dreams and not being afraid to pivot or pursue a different plan that's maybe less popular or less supported, and how to dismantle the fear associated with failure. And this is something that I've done pretty much my entire life, which makes me, I'd consider, an expert to talk to you about this, because I feel like throughout my life, I've often been encouraged to play small. It's been a minute since I filmed here on my channel, so thank you so much if you've been kind of waiting around for me to pop back up. I really appreciate you. I had a cross-country move, and then I competed in a big state pageant, so I've had a lot going on in my life, lots of adjustments, but I'm back and better and ready to be consistent because I don't have anything else like large coming up. Also, I've had people suggest to me to vlog what it's like to move across the country. I love the idea. I don't have the wherewithal for it. It was hard enough just doing it. Well, if you know anything about me here on this channel, you know that I like to keep my notes and run you through personal stories that have happened in my life that have led me to learning the lessons that I've had, so I can share them here with you. A few years ago, I moved from Virginia to South Florida. And then I moved from South Florida to Colorado. And for those of you who might not know, I'm a news reporter, and it comes often with lots of moving because it helps you sort of climb the ladder, make more money, have bigger experiences in terms of, you know, doing bigger stories. I bring that up just to say I'm no stranger to having to pivot, and I'm no stranger to having to figure out what to do next and get comfortable with change. Initially, when I moved from Virginia to Florida, it was really hard on my family because they didn't want to go without me and they didn't want to experience that change. And of course, especially on my dad's side, because I'm his only child, he was even more so upset by the decision. And we saw that sort of mimicked when I moved from Florida to Colorado. They are supportive because it's in line with my career goals, but at the very same time, they want me to be near them, which I understand. I think in life, there's always a moment where you have to decide who you're going to prioritize, whether that be you, other people involved in a situation. In this specific scenario, I could have said, well, my mom and dad want me to stay, so I'm going to stay. I'm the kind of person that feels like I have a reasonable obligation to my parents. I want to please them. I want to be near them, but I also really wanted to explore other things in life. And it was important to me to learn to see if I could count on myself and what it would be like to be in an isolated environment. And if I would be able to sort of find an inner peace without a big community around me. It was something that was important to me for whatever the reason. And so I went ahead and I decided to do it, pretty much to everyone's disappointment. Getting really comfortable with that disappointment simply comes from having a trust within yourself. And once you start doing things like that and you realize you can count on yourself, it sort of compounds. And then you feel like you can trust yourself with bigger things more often. And then you're honestly honing in a skill. I also want to address what it feels like to sit in that discomfort when you're wanting to make a pivot. So I know that I want to be a content creator. I know that I want to have a YouTube channel, and I want my success to eventually take off in that direction. But granted, I went to school for journalism, and I've been a journalist for the last 5 years or so, however long it's been. And it's really difficult to decide that I want to take a leap in a different direction when this is all of the experience I have in a completely different arena. And having to convince other people that it's a good idea, whether that be my boyfriend or his family or my family and my siblings. I don't want everybody to think I'm crazy, but at the very same time, I know that this is what I need for my life, and I can sort of feel it in an intuitive way. So when you're in a position where you feel sort of divided, like you have to choose between what you really feel like is right and what looks right on paper, that also comes from the very first thing that I addressed. When you have had to count on yourself time and time again, you can then sort of imagine that you'll be able to count on yourself in this new scenario. And I think you can almost simulate that. I would suggest finding things that you like to do, finding things that you're passionate about that are a test or are a little bit out of your comfort zone, and then doing them alone so that you feel the sense of peace when you're having to count on your own intuition. You know, oh, I've been here before. It doesn't feel so foreign to your nervous system and to your subconscious mind. Like once you make those changes, whatever they may be in your life, you have the confidence to uphold it. For example, a few months ago, I went to Los Angeles, which was an insane experience, might I add. I just decided I wanted to go. There was a concert that I wanted to see, and I really didn't want anyone to go with me because I, yet again, was trying to practice the skill that I'm talking about. So I booked an Airbnb and I kind of read all the reviews and I was like, okay, it looks like I won't be kidnapped from this location. And I went ahead and I bought my concert tickets, booked my Ubers, booked my flights, went from Florida all the way to Los Angeles. And it was really exciting because I was put in so many situations that I had to figure out alone. Oftentimes when I'm with my boyfriend, I sort of just like take my brain out of my head and then just like let him do whatever we're doing. And that reliance, while I appreciate being able to do that in my relationship, it's also really nice to know that if he weren't there, I'd be able to handle myself. When I got to my Airbnb in LA, there was this list of instructions on how to get into the property. And it was like, look for this truck. There are locks on a truck. Put in the keypad, unlock the lock, a key will come out, and that's how you're going to be able to get into the building. And I was like, okay, so then I had to look for this truck, and I'll insert a picture. I'm looking at it right now. I had to look for this blue truck, find that lock pad, and then find a way into the hotel, which it was, granted, it was more like an apartment complex with one of the units being an Airbnb. But then it didn't give any instructions on how to get into the building after hours, like after there's no receptionist at the front. So I quite literally had to like slide in behind a car through the parking garage and work my way inside that way. It was insane. Like I had to pretty much break in. And I have like videos of all of this. I was like passing all of these dumpsters and I was hoping nothing was going to jump out. It was just a hot mess express. And then I got stuck in the elevator. Stuck in an elevator. Period. Just press the call button. Maybe someone will come get me. It wouldn't work in the middle of the night. And I was just sitting there. I have a video of that too. Just a hot mess. But did I have fun at the concert? Yes. My point in saying all of this, though, is that it's really interesting because had I never given myself the opportunity to do something alone, I would have just relied on the people that I was with. And that would not have helped me hone the skill on how not to be afraid to go after bigger things. Like it's all of these little incremental things that happen in life that kind of mix together and give you that confidence to boldly go after other things. Also, give me like 1 second because there's like some girlies coming out of their job. I'm like not trying to holler. I also just thought of this random little tidbit, but my dad always says they're just people. And it's really the best advice. He's an entertainer. He's performed in front of tens and tens of thousands of people. And he's like, oh no, I don't get nervous. They're just people. Like they're literally just you and me. Like, what does it matter? And that's so true. Like if you are not starting a YouTube channel or going on TikTok or doing whatever it is, following whatever dream, whether you want to be a doctor or a mother or something in between, and you're not doing those things, it almost really doesn't add up because the people that you're so afraid of seeing you are just people. Like, also, if you're accepting of yourself, it kind of doesn't matter if nobody else is. This is the last little bit of what I'm saying because I think I have like 5 minutes left on my SD card and it's also getting dark. The fear associated with failure is not necessarily your fear of it not working out. It's oftentimes more fear of what people are going to think or people seeing you when it's not working out. I'm not saying that people wear makeup just for the acceptance of other people, but imagine you were the only person on earth. Like the earth is wiped out, there's an apocalypse, and you were the only person left. Are you doing your makeup? Probably not. So to an extent, there's always this level of performance that humans are naturally doing. And I guess maybe it's just a part of the way that we were designed to be. Your goals are oftentimes your goals in part because you want people to watch you succeed. And it's helpful to reframe that. If you take people's opinions, and I'm not saying not to care at all about what people say, but if you could just put them in the bottom or maybe the middle tier and then put yourself on the top, be like, I care mostly about what I think and then maybe after that what other people think, you might be a step ahead. Just saying. You know that quote that says, what you're not changing, you're choosing? I really like that because it's true. You also have to ask yourself when you're trying to do a really big pivot or you have this really big dream that you want to go after and you just feel all of this resistance, or what if somebody sees me trying along the way and they're perceiving me trying and I'm not getting it and it doesn't work out all in one day and you're getting nervous and you're fearful and you're just worried about it not happening. You have to ask yourself, would you rather that discomfort just for the chance for it to work out? Or would you rather the discomfort of doing what you know you don't like? And that's exactly the question I had for myself. It's like, there's a lot that I love about working for the news, but you don't get to choose all the time what stories you're doing and what scenes you have to see. And I know that I don't really want to be at the scene of 3 people after a car crash all over the road. I know that that's a lot on my nervous system. I do know I can compartmentalize and get over it, but is that the way I want to live? These are the questions I'm asking myself. Or would I rather do something I know is more aligned with my goals and my objectives and possibly have it be a bust and not work out? But at least I know I tried. At least I know I counted on myself. And everybody who might be looking at me, laughing at me along the way that it didn't work out in 15 minutes, I'm a step ahead of them because I counted on myself in a way that they might never do before they live and die. Really interesting, food for thought. Anyways, that was a lot of advice, and I really do think that this lesson is something that we have to revisit over and over again throughout our lives. Make sure to like and subscribe if you feel like I've dropped any gems or you enjoy this kind of content, you want to see more of this from me. It really helps me out and pushes me into the algorithm, so I'd appreciate that. And of course, drop a comment if you feel led. Let me know more about what you'd like to see here on this channel. I love you and you're made with so much intention. Bye.